in that church, there's over 10,000 people going to the church. So people have time to go and sit down at a sermon. Welcome those of you on YouTube. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. The object of our discussion on this platform is always to speak truth to power and to make us all think, deeply about what we're doing in our communities. Our communities are deeply brainwashed. Praying alone, being on your look, just doing this. I'm praying like this. God, please fix my light. God, please fix my road. God, please fix my water. God, please fix my hospital. Praying like that is a waste of your energy. You need to wake up. We need to wake up. So the object of what we're trying to do is to get us to think outside. You see, they put our minds in those churches and the mosques. Fela said it best. Fela said, get your minds out of those goddamn places. Every goddamn mosque, every goddamn church. Every day my people, they inside church suffering and smile, then they sleep, then they wake like cocks suffering and smiling every day. Now the same thing, suffering and smile every day. Now the same thing. Suffer forward, enjoy for heaven, Christians go they yap, in spirit to serving news. Muslims go they yap, Allahu Akbar. Open your eyes everywhere. Archbishop na miliki, Pope na enjoyment, Imam la gbaradun. Archbishop na miliki, Pope na enjoyment, Imam na gbaradun. Archbishop they enjoy. Imam said they enjoy. This is what Fela said all those years ago. And what is happening in our communities. Those of you on YouTube, please do subscribe, share the broadcast, help us grow the platform. You are, of course, watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. With you all, please go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already done so. Subscribe to us on YouTube, hit notification button, give us a thumbs up, follow us on TikTok, and we will endeavor to follow as many people as possible who are watching. Thank you so very much, those of you who are giving love on the platform. We appreciate that. We're very, very grateful and appreciative of you giving us the thumbs up and the likes and the love. The object of today's broadcast is to really wake us to think. Look at the picture in the middle. Look at the picture. 100% attendance at churches and mosques for useless prayers. Yes, I said it. They are useless prayers. We are praying for the things that is our right. We are praying to get the things that by the Constitution are things that are meant to be our right. So we go and bend on our knees and pray for good road, pray for water, pray for light, pray for hospital, pray for schools, pray for toilets. That's not praying, that's enslavement. Those are our entitlements. Again, I keep saying it. Those of you who will listen, and I will keep saying this over and over, Section 14(2)(a) of the 1999 Constitution. It states, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this Constitution, derives all its powers and authority. You are a sovereign. And as a sovereign, those you elect into office, they are meant to serve you. Did you hear me? They are meant to serve you. You're not supposed to be praying to the very people who are meant to serve you. That's what we are trying to wake you up from. Our job on this platform is to encourage you to wake up. You see, spending hours in that church and praying that God will help you. I've seen people go and pray in front of a transformer, and they will bring a pastor to come and pray in front of the transformer for the transformer to suddenly get a miraculous energy for their community. How does that work? Where is your brain? Where's your brain? You need to understand that the electricity can only work by connecting to, it is a substation. Where you are praying is a substation. If there is no power coming to that substation, no miracle can make it work. My people, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. The point I'm trying to make is this. Please, take your mind out of the churches and the mosques. And I'm specifically saying that. They have brainwashed you. You've been brainwashed. And now we are trying to wake you up. You have a role to play in this. Thank you very much, Priscilla Elonga. Thank you very much. You have a role to play. And this goes across the whole of Africa. Whether you are Christian, whether you are Muslim, you have been brainwashed. They make you believe that when you get something like electricity, water, light, hospital, that it is a gift, that you are being blessed. In Europe, it is a right. Every government, it's their responsibility to make sure that they fix the roads, they fix the water, they fix the light, they fix the schools, hospitals. If they don't, they will have problems. They will have problems. That is the problem. To wait for an afterlife whilst one is being stolen away. Thank you very much. Free Palestine. Thank you. I like that comment. So, look. Keep looking at that picture. Those of you on both platforms, if you're on YouTube, you will see the same picture. The 100% attendance at churches and mosques for useless prayers. And I don't hold my words back. I do not hold that back. They are useless prayers. And I need to say this from the outset because I need you to understand that it is damaging our communities. And more importantly, it is damaging the future of the coming generation. Whilst you are busy praying, the colonials have put in place the bourgeoisie, the puppet bourgeoisies, who now do exactly what the colonials are doing. And because they are looking like you, because the bourgeoisies look like you feel powerless. And you keep doing the same thing. The church is what you need to stop. You need to stop going to those churches and the mosques on the African continent. On the African continent, you need to connect to your African spirituality. Remember your ancestors. You see those kingdoms that they came to steal those sculptures from, those gold, those diamond, those bronze that is now in the museums in the Western world. They are made by your ancestors. And those are the things that they so much prize and treasure. They treasure it, they put it on a pedestal, and they bring money in all over Europe. Don't take my word for it. Go to Germany, go to France, go to Belgium, go to UK, go to Spain, go to Italy, go to Portugal, go to Canada, go to US, go to Australia. Everything I'm telling you is the truth. I'm not here to lie to you as an African. I need you to wake up. The thing is, it's time to wake up. We need to collectively wake up from within our community. And I'm not saying it for you to wake up for me. I'm saying it because you need to wake up for your own community to be able to thrive. If you don't wake up and you're looking outside for help, that help will never, ever come. You hear me? That help will never, ever come. I may not do more than half an hour on here, but I hope it will be enough. Now, the reason I'm saying this is that we have to change our mindset. Our solution to the problems we face on the African continent does not lie in any church or any mosque. It lies in you and me. It lies in you and me. It lies in us. It lies on us being ready to work within our community. To say we have a problem, we come together. In the olden days, when we had our African kingdoms, the kingdoms were built by people who fought and protected their territory and built their homes, built their farms, and they looked after it. When there was a problem, they would have a meeting and they would plan how to solve it. They didn't go to have a meeting and pray and then say, oh, the problem will be solved miraculously. That's not what they did. Our ancestors thought, they looked at the situation, they came up with a plan. It is called a plan of action. That is what our ancestors did. That is what they did. If they didn't do it, we would not have the names. I would not have a Yoruba name today. That's the proof. If my Yoruba ancestors did not protect Yoruba land using all of their knowledge to make sure that that kingdom existed for thousands of years and that name continues till today, and it is alive in my name, Ayo Ogundimu, I wouldn't have a name, Yoruba name today. The point I'm making is that our ancestors didn't rely on prayers. They would carry out their rituals, but they backed it up by work. And that is what I need us to. We have to wake up. These foreign religions have dumbed us down, not just in Nigeria, in the whole of Africa. 50% of the religion that is killing Africans are Christians in Africa. 50% of the religion that is killing Africans on the African continent is Islam. It is time we woke up. It is time, my people. This message goes to every single African. If you're on the African continent, please take this message. The solution to your problem does not lie in any church or in any mosque. It lies in your own community. You have the solution to your problem within your own community. But if you refuse to bring the community together to solve your problems, then you can pray all you like. You can fast all you like. Nobody is coming to answer your prayers. And let me tell you this. When you start working within your community, your ancestors will bless your efforts. Not Jesus Christ, not Allah. Forget all that. They don't know who you are. Plain fact. You've been hoodwinked. Allah or Jesus Christ does not know who you are. They don't have a clue who you are. But my ancestors, in my name, right, is God Ogun, is God of iron. God of iron. That means I, as a Yoruba man, should remember that God of iron. It enabled us to be able to source the iron to do a myriad of things. Put a roof on our head, in our house, have iron gates, and you name it. The myriad of things you use the iron for. That is what we need to do. We are being separated from who we are as Africans. And again, I state this. If you are European, please, I do not have anything to say about your religion. It's your belief. I respect that. I equally expect you to respect me when I'm talking to Africans about our African religion and not interfere. Because just as I've given you due respect about your religion, you must give back that same respect. Your religion is not higher than my spirituality. You cannot do that. So just as a gentle reminder, I am entirely happy and I'm okay with Europeans following European religion as they have been taught. That is fine. But on the African continent, I'm saying categorically, after 50, 60, over 100 years of evidence, nobody can come here and tell me that the religion of Islam or Christianity has been a benefit to Africans on the African continent. So in that context, when I'm talking about religion, please frame it around that. I am focused on how to wake us up as Africans. I am also not expecting any European to take part in that process. This is on us. This is on Africans to deal with. It is our problem. Like late Mama Atta Aidu said, it's our problem. We need to fix that problem. And the time is now. So when I'm talking about churches and mosques, please do remember I am talking specifically about on the African continent and the damage it continues to do. Now, you may be focused on the benefits you're getting out of it from Europe or from Asia. Yeah, that's your right. You'll be looking at your interest. I understand that. Then you have to recognize that now we as Africans are looking after our own interests. For long, it is indisputable. The colonials and the Arabs, when they saw the things that we had, the Arabs destroyed many of what our own African ancestors had. And many African countries who have a majority Islamic belief system, if you go and look at their prehistory before Islam, it's been destroyed. They have no history. The only history they have is Islam. That's the reality. That's what Islam did. Islam did not want any African to have no other God but Allah. But before they came to Africa, Africans, we had our own gods. So Islam destroyed in many places where you see Africans deeply rooted now in Islam. It's because if you go and look at their history, it's been destroyed. That's what Islam did. Even in Kemet, there are places where when they looked and they dug under the churches, they found the basis of Islamic buildings, because they destroyed the Kemet buildings and put Islam on it. I kid you not. There are evidence of what I'm saying. So that is Islam on one side. Now let's go and look at Christianity. Christianity did something. Christianity went the other way and went, oh, these are fantastic stuff. Oh, these are amazing stuff. Oh, we can't let anything go. They couldn't. The Christians then, so-called Christians, came. Oh, these guys they don't know the value of what they have. They don't know how, they couldn't possibly do this. And what did they do? They carted it away. They destroyed the kingdoms. They carted it away. And they put it in museums. And that is what you see in museums all over the world today in the Western world. These are facts. I'm just stating facts. I'm being dispassionate about it. And the reason why I'm stating this is for those of you who may be watching this who are African and you are still clinging on to these religions, they mean you harm. I'm sorry to say it, they mean you extreme harm. The longer you stay clinging to something that is harming you, you're not only damaging yourself, you're damaging your coming generation. And that's why we need to wake up. You are preventing yourself from building the oasis that your ancestors built, that they so admired. The Arabs admired the African kingdom, so much so they came to see where our will came from. And then when they saw it, they gave us Quran. The Western powers, they came, they heard about Africa from the Arabs. They heard about Africa. And they thought, we need to go and see this place. What have they got in there? On seeing what we have. Again, they came and they gave us their Bible. Meanwhile, our land, our mind, our body is no longer ours. We need to take it back. We've got to take back what is ours. I have no interest in any of those religions. But the impact of the religion on our people till today is without doubt a destructive one. And that is what we need to focus on. Look at the church that you're seeing in the picture, the top part of the picture. That is a 10,000-seater church. Every Sunday, I guarantee you, it will be near capacity on the African continent. But when you go and look at the communities from where those people going to that church come from, there is no infrastructure. There's no water. There's no light. There's no road. There's no schools. There's no bridges. There's no hospital. There's none of those. But the church will be preaching, and the church and the mosque are preaching about the kingdom in heaven. Meanwhile, they are taking away the kingdom of these people from underneath their feet. That's why I'm saying, as Africans, we need to wake up. It's time to wake up. You got to take your mind out of the churches and out of the mosques, out of the Bible and out of the Quran, because they are locking your mind away, preventing you from providing a better future for the coming generation of Africans. They have made us dependent on the religion, on the economy they put on front of us, even our food, our medication. Look, this thing called religion is destructive. Let me give you an example. I know perfectly what I'm saying. In Yoruba land, we had a 4-day-a-week calendar, Kojoda. And I will give you the days of the week for Yoruba. For those speaking Yoruba, you may know it. Number 1, Obatala. Obatala Orunmila, I think it is the first one. Number 2, Obatala, number 1. Number 2, Orunmila, Ifa. Number 3, Shango. Is it Shango? No, Ogun. The third day is Ogun. The fourth day is Shango, Jakuta. So we had 4 days a week, and we had 7 weeks in a year. And those days, they ran in tandem with the 28 days of the moon. They followed the cycle of the moon. That is how great my ancestors, they were following the cycle of the planet. Don't take my word for it. Please do your research. In Igbo language, I'm sure they have. In other parts of Africa, many Africans were using the Dogon Empire were using, they were reading the stars. I'm sure, without doubt, they were doing that. But what happened? What happened? Suddenly, this idea came about this Christianity and the religions. And they suddenly stopped us from, they changed the calendar. I didn't even know we had a 4-day calendar. I always thought that the calendar was 7 days a week. So there was no 28 days. We even in school, I learned 28 days are September, April, June, and November. All the rest except something had 30 days. Except February, it has 28 days and 29 days on the leap year. All of this nonsense. Now, it's one thing if you want to teach that in Europe. That's fine. It's, but to take away what I know myself from my people, my own connection, that's not acceptable. It's done. We get it. But we need to connect back to who we are. It's not about getting angry now. We need to know who we are. Being a Christian is not being an African. You cannot be an African and be a Christian. If you are an African, you are free. If you are a Christian, you are a slave. If you are an African, you are free. If you are a Muslim, you are a slave. That's simple. Because those religions require you to succumb, to not use your brain, to not be free, to never think outside of the sphere that they've given you in their books. You are a slave. You are a slave. You cannot be an African and be a Christian. You are a slave. If you are a Christian and you're following Christian religion on the African continent in particular, then you're a slave. You're not free. Your mind has been put in a box. Likewise, if you are a Muslim and you are an African, you are a slave. You're not free. What we're trying to tell you, and this is not about hating the religion. You need to know that before the religion of Islam and Christianity came, your African spirituality has been long in existence. And you must reconnect back to it. You must reconnect back to it. So, let me just say this briefly. I'm probably going to come back. I didn't want to spend more than half an hour. But I need us to understand, when you're watching this, you have to take your mind out of the church, out of the Bible, out of the Quran, and out of the mosque, and put your mind with your ancestors. Your ancestors, they're waiting for you as Africans. They're waiting to embrace you. And when they embrace you, they will show you the ways to build an unimaginable oasis in Africa. Every single African, we have that power. I'm not here to preach hate. I'm not preaching hate, because people would like to label what I'm saying. I should let Africans practice Christianity. But when you practice Christianity, it is destroying you as an African. It is telling you to turn your back on your ancestors. And that's not right. You cannot turn your back on your ancestors. You need to embrace your ancestors. I hope that makes sense. I'm not trying to be flippant. I don't know it all. I'm speaking from a consciousness that's higher than myself, that's greater than myself, that's coming from my ancestors, telling me that we need to connect to who we are. If we are going to build anything about Africa, if we're going to build any nation, any kingdom that is going to be viable on the African continent, it has to have at the core of it our ancestors, our alales, their ways, their spirituality. Because that is what will last. Everything that will be doing under Christianity, has it lasted? Are we prosperous? Are we safe and secure? How are our children not leaving the African continent because of these religions of Islam and Christianity? Have we not lost our way? Isn't it time for us to retrace our steps back? So, I'm saying that categorically, and I hope many of us understand this very, very important point. Every African community is suffering from this. Instead of us coming together like our ancestors used to do, sit down and plan. We have a problem. How do we solve it? And focus on that problem. What do we do now? We go to a church and we will sit down, and a man will tell us parables for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours. Same thing in the mosque. And never deal with our problem in our community. And then we'll come back again and we'll still say God will do it for us. We have the power to build the oasis in our community right now. I am trying to build us up from within our community. This is no longer about one person. I need you watching me to know that you can empower those within your community to come together and begin to look at solving your problems collectively together. And know that you possess the power. In every single fraudulent nation created now, we have some powers that we can use. The power of sovereignty that they've given us. We know they don't want us to have it, but we can use that power to get back Africa. Let us begin to do that. So with that power of sovereignty, you call a town hall meeting. Those who are serving you, the bourgeoisies, you call them to a meeting and look, you are meant to serve us. We are the sovereigns. You must tell us where the money has gone. How much did you spend on the roads? How much did you spend on the water? How much did you spend on bridges? What is left? Who are the contractors? You must start asking questions. If you notice with these religions of Islam and Christianity, they never want you to ask questions. You are not permitted to ask questions. You are permitted to accept only what you are told. Do you understand me? So you are being, yes, hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. It has to start from within the community. And please, I know I'm speaking in English now. My Yoruba is not bad. And I do try and come and speak about this in Yoruba. And trust me, I will be doing shows speaking in Yoruba. Those of you that speak other languages, I'm not talking French, I'm not talking English, I'm talking African language. We need our people to know that they possess powers to solve their own problems outside of the Bible and the Quran. We need to wake them up from within the communities. That's what we need to do right now. We've been held back for too long. Yes, and even in the Caribbean. Yes, even in the Caribbean. So please, right now, in every African community around the world, in the world before, everywhere in the world was full of black people. People will not like me to say that, but that's the history. That's the fact. Everybody agrees that black people came from Africa and went around the world. So the whole world was full of black people. But that's another story for another time. But what I want us to focus on right now is that we need our people in our communities to start believing in themselves that they have the power to solve their problems. They have the power to sit down and plan and question and look around and look for solutions in their own community. Because the people who are telling us that, about governance and everything, they are coming and taking from our community every single day. The Western powers are coming to take from African communities every single day. So that will tell you that the solution to our problem lies within our communities. We need to start talking. Please encourage our people to use our local language. Local language, be it Yoruba, be it if you are Kenyan, Kikuyu, whatever your language, you need to start communicating in that language. The church is not the solution. The mosque is not the solution. It is your community. Your community. Your community in Congo, your community in South Africa, your community in Kenya, your community in Morocco, your community in Ghana, in Senegal, in Mauritius. Your community. You have the solution. You see, they've made us believe that everything of power is outside us. It's a lie. All the power lies within us. And when we come together within our community, there is nothing we can't solve. There's nothing we can't solve as Africans. There is nothing. So, what I want to do, 1 second. Let me just do this now, quickly. So I needed to do something, but this is very important. What I need us all to do, please, even if you're in the Caribbean, and my Haitian brothers, we haven't forgotten you. We know what is going on. And I do hope that the Kenyan government has not sent police over to Haiti. I do hope they haven't. Because the Haitians can solve themselves. We need to begin to come together and solve our problems. The people who put problems our way don't want us to solve our problems. They want us to remain dependent. That is why if you keep going to the church, keep going to the mosque, you are going to remain dependent. You will simply remain dependent. Okay? So, one second, please. 1 second, please. Let me check something. You know what? Let me just check something right quick. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so what I'm trying to really say is this. Please, as Africans, let me just drink some water. We need to begin to think for ourselves again. Give me 1 sec, please. 1 sec, please. Okay. Yeah. So you see, what I'm really trying to get at is this, and I hope many people will understand. Okay. Anyway, so what I really want us to understand, and the reason why I put this broadcast up is this. Please, every community, ask yourself this question. Do you have good roads? Do you have water? Do you have light? Do you have schools? Do you have hospital? If you don't have those things, please tell me, how has the church made it possible, the church or the mosque, how has it made it possible for you to have those things in your community? How has the church or the mosque helped you in having those things working in your community right now? Just ask yourself that simple question. If you don't have any answer from the church or the mosque, then you know that the church and the mosque have been deceiving us all. That it is it. The European nations have the best roads, schools, etc. at our expense. Thank you very much. Let me pin that comment. The reason why I wasn't going to stay this long, but the comment is very, very resonating, and I think it's a time to really listen to this and key in. Please don't forget, those of you watching me, if you can, subscribe to me on YouTube, help us grow the platform. Follow us on TikTok, help us grow the platform. I really appreciate you joining me on this broadcast. It is a real pleasure having you on board, and we are having discussions among like-minded Africans looking for a better future for the coming generation of Africans. This is no longer about you and me now. It's about the coming generations. We're talking about 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 1,000 years down the line. What future are we living for them? If we leave this church and the mosque intact, the Africans will now become the Indians that are now Europeanized. There is a saying that they had when they were taking over the Red Indians, or the Africans in that area, call it, because again, I'm beginning to understand a lot more. They always had this saying, kill the Indian, save the man. We need to make sure that that does not happen on the African continent. We have to make sure of that. And that is why, I speak of this being for the community. Yes, thank you. Absolutely. So I share. So please, if you are in Haiti, if you are in Cuba, if you are in Brazil, If you are in Venezuela, did you know there were black people in Venezuela? If you are in Argentina, did you know there were black people in Argentina? They don't tell you all of this. These are facts. But hey, we are learning and we are growing. But what I need us all to understand, and they're speaking, what I love about Brazil, when the motherland was being severely attacked, some of the people that they were, and even China, yes, thank you, yes, and even in Japan, I understand. But we were everywhere, and of course, the Aborigines in Australia. You do know that. We all know that. But so the thing that really, particularly in the case of Brazil and Cuba, when they were taking a lot of Africans and the spiritual things away, some people had spiritual powers that they took with them to Cuba. They took with them to Brazil. And that is why you are hearing about Brazilians speaking Yorubas, worshiping our gods on the Brazilian soil, speaking Yoruba language. Same in Cuba. Same in Venezuela. Look, the point I'm making here is this. We have the solution to our problems. The more we cling on to this religion that is brainwashing us of Islam and Christianity on the African continent, the more we are destroying the coming generation. Like I said, in Europe, that is what they do, that's their religion. We must respect that. But we need to respect ourselves now on the African continent and make sure that our own ancestry is not scrubbed out. We have to make sure of that. We have to make sure of that. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is this. In the issue of town halls, how many meetings? People go to the churches and pray. They go to the mosques and pray. But how many communities come together and say, our road is not bad, it's not good. We have bad roads. There's no hospital, there's no water, there's no light, there's no school, there's no bridges. What can we do to fix it collectively? How many of us meet up? How many communities meet up every Sunday, like they go to the church or the mosque on Friday? How many people meet up in our communities every week about the problems they face? It doesn't happen. I've checked it. It doesn't happen. Instead of putting our time, they brought the African, Brazil, and other West Indian nations. Absolutely. Yes, you're right, my brother. So let me put that there. Let me put that here. So what I'm saying is this. It is time for us now to start making sure that our community, start seeing the solution for their problems within their own community. Because it is from the same community that they find gold, that they find diamond, that they find all of these things. It is from the same community. Okay? So, and all of the resources that they're using around the world, copper, lithium, all of this. So we have the solution to our problems. But we first need to wake up our minds. They've stolen our minds as Africans. Our minds has been stolen from us. When you are practicing the religion of someone who is not of yourself, they control your thought process. When you are eating the food that is not what your ancestors ate, but what they bring to you, they control your thought process. They control your life. Whoever controls your food, controls your religion, controls who you are. It's time we wake up. Africa has between 40 to 60% of the fertile land of the entire world. Yet, Africa, we need to go back to our culture. Yes, thank you. Eric Okpong. Yes. We must go back to our culture. That is not to say to me, to any Christian, that I'm putting Christianity down. On the European continent, I'm not interested in putting Christianity down. In Arabia, I'm not interested in touching or abusing Islam. It's none of my business. But I do not accept, I will never accept that both religion puts down my spiritual, African spirituality, and tells me that my own spirituality is dirt, that it is worth nothing, I should turn away from it. They have no right to do so. And we need to reclaim that. You know? Thank you. I love the idea. Convert their worshiping places to factories and creative hubs. I love that idea. Keep those ideas coming. You see, instead of being destructive, we can use that. You know? Now, Abdul Trako, thank you very much for that. I like that. That is what we need to be doing. Like I said, in our communities, we need to be very honest with ourselves. Whether you're speaking English, you are speaking French, and we need to get away from, on the African continent, we have to be conscious that on the African continent, our language must become supreme. That is Yoruba language, Igbo, Hausa, all of the real African languages must become supreme. Because by doing that, we empower ourselves. Our ancestors used to trade, not speaking the same language. How did they do it? We did not need to be learning a foreign language before a man from Mali could trade with a man from Yoruba land. Or a man from Ghana could trade with a man in Morocco. So why do we need to have two foreign languages imposed on us? It's all about brainwashing. So we need to wake up as Africans and begin to deal with our problems within our community. The biggest asset we have in the African continent right now is our communities. Yes, this wealth, we need to take back our root. Thank you. So the biggest, you may not think it, just hear me out. The biggest asset we have in Africa right now is our communities. And if we empower them through beginning to trust with the community to solve their problems, and with our help to get them to know how they can begin to stand up for themselves against the bourgeoisie leaders in the right manner, not violence, but speaking to them and letting them know in their language, no. And you know something? These puppets, when the people start talking to them in their local language, guess what? They feel shame. They feel shame. This is what we need to be talking to our people. Not this space. Good afternoon. How you doing? My name is... I'm sorry. Time and a place. When you are on the African continent, you will speak Yoruba language. You will speak Igbo. You will speak Efik. You will speak Kikuyu. You will speak South African language. You will speak my language. Of course, when I come to Rome, I will speak your Italian. I will speak your English. I will speak your Spanish. Because I'm giving you due respect. Africa has not been given that due respect. And the only way we will get that respect is when we start empowering our people. Every single person born on the African continent speaking their language, we need to fill them back with pride. When you are taking them to a church to go and learn a different language about outside of their culture, you are weakening them. We are allowing things that are weakening us to continue to come and destroy us on our continent. And we can't allow that to happen. We can't. So there's a lot of work for us all to do. So again, like I said, everything that we do now starts with our community. When they were going to build the Ashanti Empire, it started with the community. When they were going to build the Oyo Empire, it started with the community. When they were going to build the Ga Empire, it started with the community. You can't just, if you don't have a community, you cannot build anything. And we are the biggest kingdom builders in this entire world. We're the best. Ghana, Oyo, Songhai, Benin, Dahomey, Mali, Ghana, you name it. There are so many empires. So this is who we are. We are empire builders. We need to reframe our minds as Africans. It's time. If you are in the Caribbean, you are an African. Yes. And think like an African. Community. We need community spirit. We've been divided for too long. My own language, my own people, Yorubas, we were caught. Half of us was put in what is now called Benin. Some of us were put in what is now called Benin, Democratic Republic of Benin, which is actually Dahomey. Yorubas in a place called Ketu, they are Yoruba like me. They speak the same language, but they've been put into another nation. And then the other part is in Nigeria. I know this for a fact. So I'm telling you facts here. And this is not what's happened to me. Again, go to many other places. They've caught and put different people together, that should be one kingdom. We need to naturally allow that to grow again. But it starts with our community. Start empowering our community. Start asking questions. Like I said, people will go to the church and pray to have light in their community, to have schools, to have water, to have bridges. You don't need to pray. It is your right. In Europe, they don't pray for water. I'm yet to see any European go and pray for water in Europe. I'm yet to see any European go and pray for roads. I'm yet to see any European go and pray for hospital. That's a fact. All over Europe. It is their right. Anytime somebody is telling you to pray for what is your right, it is a fraud. And what I'm telling you is that what is going on, not just in Nigeria, the whole of Africa, is a fraud. And it requires us all to wake up in our communities and begin to wake up our people. This wealth. There was a brother that I saw a program, and I hope he will permit me to say this. There's 3 things we need to build Africa. We need knowledge, we need power, and then the last one will follow. Guess what it is? Wealth. Let me say that again. We need knowledge, we need power. Once with knowledge and power, money will follow. Wealth will follow. Unfortunately, like he said in his broadcast, he's from Ghana somewhere. I'll try and get his name. Our leaders forget the first 2. Knowledge, power, and they go straight for wealth. And what they think is wealth is an illusion. Because the people who give them that wealth can take away that wealth overnight. I give a good example. Mobutu Sese Seko, the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, who ensured that they killed Patrice Lumumba and they cut off his body. Do you know recently that Belgium sent back a teeth, a gold tooth, and his teeth back as a sorry to Congo? But they have not given back what they stole. Now, the story is, that's not the story. The story I'm trying to tell you is this. Mobutu Sese worked closely with all of these colonials, killed his own people. His land, if you go and look at the estate now, it is in total ruins. That ruin represents his legacy that he has left for his own people. That is the legacy he has left for his people. And let that be a lesson to the likes of Mobutu Sese Seko, Compaore, and all of the others that have undermined true African leaders, your legacy will be terrible because you are not doing the bidding of the people. It's time to stand for the people. So going back to what I was saying, the key things, we need knowledge, we need power. With knowledge and power, you can get wealth. And even if you lose the wealth, with your knowledge and power, you will get wealth again. But if you go and you get this imaginary wealth, paper wealth, oh, the Gabon former president, I'm a very rich man, he works closely with the French. Suddenly, he's swept away. He's forgotten. All that money is worthless. He can't travel anywhere. Compaore, same thing. You see that money is an illusion. We are talking about the real wealth of building our communities. When you have good roads, when you have water, when you have light, when you have hospital, that even the president, when he leaves, he doesn't have to fly across to the half of the world to get the health care. He gets the health care from the same investment in his people. He gets he gets to use the investment that he has invested in his community by building the schools, by building the hospitals, so that when his health fails him, the people will be the ones saying, oh, our president is not well. Take him to that hospital. They will fix him there. We know what to do. Whereas now, when they go to Europe, they don't, you see, African leaders don't understand the power of spiritual thinking. When the people are angry at you and you want to survive, do you think you will survive? Based on your actions, you judge, you tell me. You tell me. If you keep oppressing your people and then you fall ill, then you want them to pray for you, do you really think they are going to pray for you? I'm just asking. Just a simple, I'm just asking. You know, there is something called karma. And that's what I'm hoping that we can begin to really look at. But above all, let us start teaching our people about knowledge. You see, there is no knowledge that is useful to you as an African in the Bible or the Quran. I'm sorry to say, but that's a fact. If there was any knowledge, Africa will not be in the state that it is in right now. What they tell you in those books is there to keep you trapped in the same spot. It keeps you in the same loop. It is time to break free. The coming generation needs us to do this work. I'm not expecting miracle work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not expecting what I've said now is going to change overnight. I need you to think about it. I don't want you to take quick action. I need you to sit with what I'm saying here. Every African, sit with it. Think, ruminate, talk in your communities, go to your communities. We don't need action now about physical action. We need to open our minds, to unlock our minds. Because once we can do that community-wide, once we can break free community-wide, we are free. We are free. Right now, we're not free. Africa is not free. Let us call it what it is. Africa is about to be recolonized. But for the help of Russia, who are helping the alliance of Sahel states, Africa will probably be in a very precarious position right now. Because some of our own leaders, in the mistaken belief of the false wealth, they are taking the wealth and imprisoning their own people and continuing the same cycle of the colonials who simply replaced themselves with the bourgeoisies. we need to be very, very aware of this. We got to be aware of it. We need to support Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, Assimi Goïta of Mali, General Chiani of Niger, and now Senegal, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, President Bassirou Diomaye Faye of Senegal. And I'm looking at Guinea. We are looking at Guinea. It may well be, I'm hoping, but we need to start looking at supporting African leaders that are working for Africans. In my own country, I don't feel that my president or the nation is working for, shall we say, Africans at the minute, because our economy is so loaded to the currency is heavily weighted on the US currency, and that is impoverishing our people. There is a man that I like very much, Femi Falana. Femi Falana talked about currency swap deals, and that's what we need to do in Africa. But do you know that the IMF would not allow, does not like the fact that Nigeria wants to do a currency swap deal with China? They want them to say no to it because they don't want China to be able to compete with them. But we must be free as a sovereign nation to trade with whoever we want in however we want it. That's why I'm saying in my own country of Nigeria, I am concerned that the government maybe inadvertently are not aware that they are not supporting the people. When you are using a foreign currency in your own land, you are taking money away from your own currency, from your own economy. Anyway, that's, but that's my thinking. But I am supporting the alliance of Sahel states, and many of us need to be looking out for them. They're not going to get it right. But in our communities right now, see those churches that you're seeing at the mosque, they are a threat to the development of Africa. The churches, the education, the food, the economics, everything is geared to suppress Africa. And we need to be very, very clear about how we deal with that. And that is why speaking in our local languages is a must. Emma Soedeni, I just spoke in Yoruba. It's in me. It's in me. And I'm proud of that. When we are going to do things, I need to see, I've seen an Igbo man write a science book in Igbo. Kudos to him. I think I've seen a Yoruba man also do something, but I need to find out. Also in Yoruba, science book. We need to write our sciences, our ideas, our philosophies in entirely all African language. No, the Chinese do that, Confucius and all of that. They have to go and translate it from Chinese into English. So what is wrong with us doing that in our own? What's wrong? Why should we not be able to have something for ourselves from our own culture? We must. We must. Because that is how we build our communities. When we are building communities that are already made to feel that their language is worthless, that person feels like a slave already. And that is what these religions are doing to us. When they say, oh, you can't speak Arabic. Oh, no, you're not. No, you're an infidel. You are in your own land. You are an infidel in your own land. What do you mean? That's the kind of psychological damage that we've been going through. Islam and Christianity, all of that. And I really want us all to be thinking now of our communities. We need to empower our communities. There are many of us who are abroad. We can now see how things are being run here. Why should anybody accept that it is after you pray that I will fix your road in your community? Why should you accept that? They don't accept that in Europe. They don't accept that in the US. They don't accept that in Spain or Italy or Portugal or Germany. It's their job. It's your job to do it. You fix it. We employed you. That's the mindset we need to bring in to teach to our people. And that's a task that you and I have to take on. We all have families back home in our communities. Amen. And you too. Good to you too. So look, this is not a job for one. This is not a job for one person. This is a job for us all. You need to be waking up thinking. I've spoken to people back home this morning. And I asked them a question. I said, look, how often do you meet for town hall meeting about your roads, your water, your light, your schools, your bridges? How often? They came back and said to me, never. They said, we have never met to have a meeting about the state of our roads in our community. We've never met. We don't get to meet. I said, okay, so are you happy with that? Well, we don't have the power to do so. Well, you do. In the case of Nigeria, for example, I'm using that as an example because that's what I know. You have that power to begin to call a community meeting. Go around your community. Look at the bad roads. You got cameras, you got phones, you got pictures you can take. Take a picture. Take, take date, location, time, all of that. Then you call your local government chairman, your state house of assembly, your house of representatives, and they must come because you are a member of the community. In your language, you start telling them you must come. This is not right. Because the same people who tell you, oh, we can't come to your community. On Sunday and on Friday, guess where they will be sitting in the church and the mosque? They will be sitting at the high table, but they won't have time for your community. Do you see? Are you seeing it? Do you get it now? Do you get it? Do you get it that it's a fraud? These same people who are telling you, oh, I haven't got time, I haven't got this, but they have time to sit at the high table in the church, in the mosque, and you are bowing to them. And when you are bowing down, you are bowing in front of them, and they are sitting on their high and mighty table. This is why you need to wake up. It starts in our community. God bless you too, my brother. It starts in our community. I can't speak for other parts of Africa, but I can speak about this about Yoruba people and about Nigerians. Please, I need you to start the Constitution. You have some powers in it. I need you to trust in it. Your backs are against the wall. In our communities, our backs are against the wall. Our people are suffering. People can't eat 3 square meals a day because they are so afraid of the government. My people say they fear too much. We fear for the thing we no see. We always get reason to fear. We no one die. I get one house. Mama dey for house. Papa dey for house. So policeman go slap your face, you know I go talk. Army man go whip your nyash, you go they look like donkey. Rhodesia, they do their own ali that they are for nothing. South Africa, they do their own. Oh, you all know what it is. I'm going fella there. I just go fella. Every time I think about this, fella was so on point. May so rest in peace. He is our African prophet. So what I'm saying is this: our backs are against the wall. Our backs are against the wall on the African continent. And the only way to come out, I'm not saying go and fight physically, is to wake up mentally. We wake up mentally. Wake up. Begin to question those we elect into office. You said you are going to fix our road. I have not seen it. My water, my light. Who are the contractors? How much was the budget? What is left? When are you going to fix it? Every month. That is why I said, I asked at home. You go and ask yourself. Ask yourself in your communities. Don't take my word for it. Go and check in your communities. Do it today. Ask them questions. How often do you have town hall meetings about the bad roads, the water, the light, the schools, the lack of all of those things? Do they have any meetings? I guarantee you more than 60% of everybody will come back and say, yes, they don't have meetings, but they go to church and they go to mosque. Problem. You see, that's how they lock our mind away. So we need to wake our communities up. This is a task not just for one or two people. It is for every one of us. There are talents in our community that are dying away because they have been led to believe that if they don't pray 5 times a day, if they don't go to the church and fast morning, noon, and night, and fast and do night vigil, that they will never enter the kingdom of God, a false kingdom. Whereas their kingdom that they are living on right now on earth is being impoverished right before their eyes by the same people they elected to serve them. We need to change our collective mindset. It is of immense importance that we do that. Please, I urge us all, let us take this task seriously. Keep looking at the picture that you see, the picture of the church. See, that is a 10,000-seater church, and it is almost always full. Almost always full. But the problem that they face before they go into the church, as soon as they finish in that church and that mosque, the bad roads is waiting for them. The no water is waiting for them. The bad schools is waiting for them outside. The no electricity is waiting for them outside. And those problems are never addressed in the churches or the mosques. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you have something different that differs to what I'm saying, please do say it on the broadcast. I'm happy to hear it. But this is not just in Nigeria. This is the whole of Africa. This is the whole of Africa. You see what they have done, because you are talking in different language. One part is speaking English, the other part is speaking French. We didn't know that, it was just a language, but we are suffering from the same problems. Yes. But now, we are now beginning to understand that even though they forced us to speak different languages, we are suffering the same problems. Whether you're French speaking or you're English speaking, you are African, you are suffering. Change the background. Well, no, I needed that to be, I can't change that right now, no. Because, no, I'm not changing the background. Because I need the picture for people to understand why. I can't change that now. I understand what you're saying, Lex, Arthur, but I'm not going to do that now. But since most of we blacks are still asleep, Eric Opong, we have to wake up slowly. We got to be patient with each other. The problem we are trying to solve is over 500 years old. I kid you not, 1452 to be exact, is the time all of this started. It's over 500 years old. So we have to give each other time. But the best thing is for us to start working. Thank you very much, Olawevi, thank you. So we have to give each other time to allow each other to catch up. But please, I'm telling you, keep looking at those pictures. Look at how packed that church is and look at how empty the town hall is. We don't have town halls about our problems, but we have town halls about our distractions. We will spend hours on our distractions, but our problems we ignore. We need to change that dynamic. We need to change that dynamic. That dynamic must change. So, please, every African listening to me now, you need to communicate with your people. Remember your ancestors. ẹ̀yin alálẹ̀ mo rántí yín o, mojúbà o, mojúbà o, ẹ ṣeun o, tẹ́ fún mi lé, tẹ́ gbá ní mi sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ni o, mo dúpẹ́ o, àṣẹ. Speak to your ancestors. If you feel it, do it. If your ancestors start telling you something and you feel it in your language, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. That's who you are. They are telling us a message. These religions that we've been practicing, they've been telling us to shut ourselves down, to shut down who we are as Africans. And it is damaging not only to us, to the coming generation. We need to change that as Africans. Remember, I'm saying it clearly. If that works in Europe, and that's how they, that's what they know, great. I as an African, I have to stand up and be me. I have to be who I am meant to be, an African. I cannot be in the image of what somebody, a colonial, has put on me. I have got to be what my ancestors envisioned for me. My direct ancestors, my Alale, Eledumare, Eshu. That is what we need to do. And I noticed that a lot of, yes, Eric Okon, we need many like you to, not just, look, my brother, you can do it as well. We can all do it. There are many people that I'm seeing who are waking up, and I'm just part of that. I'm just glad that I'm part of it. I'm able to fulfill my role, fulfill my quota. And I hope many of us will look at it from that point of view, that we are part of there is no one person that can bring Africa up alone. We are all part of this struggle to free Africa. We are all part of it. And I do hope that many people watching this will take something away from this. And more importantly, go to your community and ask them the question. I want to know, how often do you have town hall meeting about no roads, no water, no light, no school, no bridges? And what happens from that meeting? Do you have a town hall where you will call your local government chairman, state assembly members, House of Reps, senators, governors to a meeting to question it? Has that ever happened? Has it ever happened? Let us ask those questions. Because you see, we trying to fix the problems of millions of people, we can't do it. But if we teach them how to fix their own problems within the community using awareness and education to empower them in the communities, more communities in Africa will be free from this bondage. Because we all know Africa is not free. Africa is not free. I don't say that out of hate. It's a cold, hard fact. Every time I see the name Nigeria, it reminds me Africa is not free, because my ancestors did not put the name Nigeria on it. No. They did not put the name Benin on Dahomey. No. They did not put the name Liberia on it. No. They did not put the name, all the other names, except for Ghana, of course, Ghana and Burkina Faso. The others are all imposed names. They used to, Ivory Coast. I mean, Ivory Coast, Cameroon. These are not our names. These are not the names of our ancestors. They are not. And it's a reminder of, Congo is the real original name. Thank you. Best African. Let me put that up. Yes. So, what I'm saying here, there is a lot of work for us all to do. And it starts with our community. And I want you to know that our communities were the communities that gave us the kingdom, the Dogon Empire, the Mali Empire, the Oyo Empire, the Songhai Empire, the Nok Empire, the Zulu Empire. In the Congo, there were great empires. So many empires across Africa. The one they couldn't even break down, the Ethiopian Empire, they couldn't break it down. That was how powerful. And even, do you know that even in the empire, the the prince, they are refusing to release the body of the prince of the empire, of the Ethiopian empire, for him to be buried in Ethiopia. Why? He belongs to Ethiopia. Let them have their people back. You're disturbing their ancestors. No question. There's no way. If anybody was holding on to anything that belongs to UK and not letting them have it, I'd be on the first queue and say, no, you're wrong. You've got to give it back to them. It's theirs. What's fair is fair. That's how I see it. So all of these things are really important. As Africans, we got to wake up. We need to connect. And we have to be conscious that there is so much divide and rule going on now. Any war that you see in Africa right now, go and look at it closely. Any war, and I mean any war going on in Africa, if you look in the area where the wars are happening, there are resources there. Go check it. Name anywhere in Africa. Anywhere in Africa where there's a war going on. In Sudan, you don't think there's a war, there's resources? In Ethiopia, you don't think there's resources? In Congo, there's no resources? Even in Nigeria, there's no resources? And until recently, Niger, it was when they kicked out, they've kicked the US out of Niger. And France. France was saying there are religious wars. And whilst they were saying, east of Congo, thank you. Whilst they were saying, oh, they are fighting religious wars, they were taking away resources. That's what is happening. That's why we need to really confront divide and rule in Africa. That's why we need to begin to speak our languages. Ngugi Wathingo, Decolonizing the Mind. I ask you to please get that book. Let me see if I can find it for you. One second. I have a book here. Ngugi Wathingo. Let me see if you can see it. Yeah? That book. See that book? Get it. Decolonizing the Mind. South Sudan, yes. See that book you can see there? Get it. Let me put it on for those of you who are on YouTube as well. Get that book. The guy used to be a brilliant writer in English, but a lot of his writings now is in his local language. And it says that if we keep using a foreign language in your own land, it's fine when you're abroad. But if you keep using your own foreign language in your land, you are going to, by your own self, destroy your own culture. Same thing with religion. If we allow religion foreign religion to dominate in our culture, we are going to destroy ourselves. So this is all about our mindset. So there is work for us all to do. There is so much more ground to cover as Africans. And the task now, we are saying it. We do not require anybody else's assistance in fixing Africa. We can fix Africa ourselves. Yes. We can fix Africa ourselves. Yes, tap. Yes, thank you. Please, tap. Best African, thank you very much. Yes, they are trying to, yeah. Please tap. So we must free ourselves. The work that we need to do in Africa now is not by anybody else. Please, that's why when they're taking to you, that's why you got to be very careful. When you are following a religion that's saying God will help you, they are disempowering you psychologically to continue to believe that you are helpless. That's why you cannot rely on Allah or the Christian God. We have the solution to our problems. Now we need to come together. Our unity is our strength on the African continent. And we can lead. Look, Africa has the potential to build a world that is more cohesive. Look at the world around now, with the world that the Western world, so-called Western world, are building. Is it not wars everywhere? Where's the peace? Where's the peace? Where's the love? Where is it? Where is it? There's wars everywhere because of exploitation. But the African way is, I have a lot. My brother, join me. Eat with me. Share with me. Enjoy with me. Come in peace. That's our way. We show each other how to live, coexist. And we coexisted on that continent for thousands of years. And in the space of 500 years, wars all over the place. Lack of peace, impoverishment. In a land of the plenty. Yes, peace and love are valuable assets. So we have a lot to teach the world. And I don't say that, I'm not bragging about it. We are at the beginning of, according to their own history as well, from what they said. I mean, Dinkesh, found in Ethiopia, 2 million years old, the oldest human bones. Black African woman. That's fact. Let's just start with that fact right there. Let's just start with that fact. It's indisputable. These are facts. I'm not, yeah. So what I'm saying here is that among ourselves, we got to really be careful with ourselves, because the damage that these religions has done to us psychologically in our communities is unfathomable if you try and think about it. The real, you can't quantify the damage. And we walk around with it. A woman the other day, she was on TikTok. She said, I woke up. Jesus was holding a trumpet. And I saw Jesus. And she started crying. I saw. And he said, keep going, Barbara. Keep going, Barbara. And I laughed. Because it wasn't, you cannot, that concept of I saw Jesus is confirmation that what she's saying is what she's been programmed to say through brainwashing. She's not seeing any Jesus. But when they force-fed this false narrative in your mind, you start seeing things in the way that they want you to see it, and you believe that is real. It isn't real. Before Jesus, they were your ancestors, my sister. Yes. They were your ancestors. They lived long. They had ideas. They had wonderful herbs. They had areas on the planet that you wouldn't touch. They had places you respect, sacred places. So Barbara, if you're watching, you are an African. No, that Jesus is an illusion. It's an aberration to deceive you. You are a black African beautiful woman, and stop following that. Just be happy in who you are. Be proud of who you are. Embrace your Africanness. That is what I'm here to say. I am embracing my Africanness. I cannot speak for others, but I'm hoping that by doing programs like this, many of us have been damaged in many, many ways, and we have to come together and heal ourselves. And oftentimes, our going back to our ancestral ways and honoring our ancestors, giving them offerings to our ancestors in the way that we've been taught, in the way that we know. And you may even, you know what? Just even saying the name of your ancestor alone can unlock keys as to how you can honor them. That is how powerful our language is. A fool say there's no God. Nobody said there's no God. There is a Ledumare. What I'm saying is that Jesus Christ that they're telling you as an African, it is not your God. That's all I'm saying. It is for them, that's how they see it. But you as an African, before they came with their Jesus, you had Eshu, you had Eledumare. And they from their own mouths came out and said that you should turn away from your own Eshu and Eledumare, which they have no right to do. I maintain that. In 1852, O.E. Vidal of a Welshman came and claimed a falsehood that Eshu equates to Satan, which is a lie. It is a lie. It's a lie. We need to claim back what is ours. I will not call. I'm not saying that Jesus is a whatever. That's not for me to say. But as an African, I'm telling you that if you are hanging on to those belief systems, you are actually enslaving yourself and your coming generation. That's the reality. I'm not trying to put you down, but I'm hoping that you wake up. Because this is deep psychological damage. It requires you to turn on yourself, to hate yourself, to hate your ancestors, and only worship those that the colonials have given you. Take it or leave it. So I maintain it. Barbara, you didn't see Jesus. No, it's an aberration. The first thing you should see, if you're a black woman and you are born of a black woman, I'm telling you that your ancestor is black. Your God is also black. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not here to... likewise, if you're a European and you see a white person, that makes sense. It makes logical sense. What does not make logical sense is when somebody is brainwashed. There is no free will in this. There is no free will. There was no free will in this. So Barbara, wherever you are in the world, I understand you, but you need to wake up. You are an African. What is your African name? Ask yourself that question. What is your African name? Remember your African name. Once you know your African name, what is your surname? In your surname, there is always something. In my surname, for example, there is a key that links my ancestors to the god of iron. I know what I'm telling you. I know me. And if you research yourself and study yourself long enough, there is always a connection. Our name is just not... There is always a meaning to African names. It could be how the sun came out. It could be, the month. It could be, but your name is unique to you. Do you know in the olden days, they had to do Ifa divination? We need to go back to that. Do you also know that Ifa is the foundation of what you are using as a computer right now? The 010101. It comes from Ifa. So, I mean, I just know that there is a Lejumare, but not that this concept of this one. Look, if you can allow and respect other people's point of view about how they perceive themselves, how they perceive what they believe in, and not diminish it, then you have my respect. You have my respect. If you can respect other people's belief systems and not destroy it to put yours up, you have my respect. But if you put yours up and you destroy others, I don't need to tell you what I think. You already know. You already know. That's how I look at it. And as Africans, we need to really embrace who we are as Africans. I am a proud African, and I am not proud in a way of being rude. I'm just very clear about my identity. It's taken me a long time to understand my identity as an African. And I wear that badge, my Africanness, with a badge of honor. And later on, maybe we may call ourselves Alkebulan. Alkebulan. Many people will know where I'm going with that. But it's a gradual story, and Kemet, and Oyo Empire, and and so on and so forth. We're going to be building this in a gradual way. But our community, yes, our Kebulan. So our community is our power base. It's our unity. It's our redemption. And we need to really make sure as Africans, if we're going to build Africa up, it starts with our community. The churches and the mosques, I'm afraid to say, they are destructive to our communities. And the evidence is all over the place. Go into any African community right now. the churches and the mosques have caused division. There is no, it prevents actually the development of that community. That is to say, you know, when you're going to develop in a community, you normally have peace and tranquility, an ability to educate and grow in a natural process. That process is often truncated. So sometimes you will have the peace, illusion of peace, and Islam will come in and take over that place. And then it's going for a while. And then suddenly, and then Christianity will come and take it over. So you never have that continuity. It is always interrupted patterns of development. We are spiritual, not religious. Tobias, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. As Africans, we need to understand innately how powerful we are. That's why I say the solution to our concerns that we have on the African continent doesn't lie outside. It lies within us. More importantly, within our communities. And being able to harness the individual spirituality we have. Combining that, we become unstoppable. Of that I am certain. I know that for a fact. So Tobias, thank you for that. Back at the no coincidence there. Same situation in Black America. Yes, yes, exactly. So what am I really trying to get at? Think community. Please, on the African continent, I say it again. We need to build from our communities. We need to make sure our problems are solved from within our communities. Anytime we try to go outside, that is why they keep putting the Bible and the Quran in front of you, because they don't want you to sit down as a community to face your problems. Oh, Jesus is the way. No, forget you sitting down together. Jesus can solve it. Oh, no, Allah is the way. So some people will go with Jesus, some people will go with Allah, and the problem that you face from the beginning remains. Go and check it in every community. Go and check it in every single community. I kid you not. So now you see how divisive these religions are. And, you know, in the case of Nigeria, I know how they came to use this perfectly. When Lugard, when he went to the north, he came from, they first oversee, they came and tackled Ogun State and Egba people and Yoruba people. And when they managed to overcome us, it was only then they now face the north. And on getting there, they were going to do the same thing they did to us, which is like you have to forget your gods, forget everything else and everything, and try to take us over in that way. But then they saw how that religion had got them into this particular order they could use. So they said, no, we will let you keep the structures that you have, the Islamic structures, keep it. But you have to sign allegiance to the queen. You see that? You see that? And that is why till today in Nigeria, the Fulanis were destroyed. Somebody said it yesterday. There's a guy called Su Keller. So I can't remember that name. He said something about the Fulanis and the Western and some people from the north. They've been destroyed twice. Firstly, their original African spirituality was destroyed. They imposed Islam on them. Wahhabism Islam, to be specific. And then, of course, then they came, the colonials, the West came, and then colonized them again. So now, people like myself who are from West Africa, I have a fallback of my ancestors. I can still remember my ancestral beliefs, the names and everything else. In the north, the only connection they have is back to that same Islam. Their own history, African history, is being destroyed. I kid you not. It's painful to say it. It's painful to say it. It's painful. And I'm not even Fulani. I feel for them. Because that's what is happening. So that's why when they get to a point, they say infidel. and all of this. Because that is what they've been left with. Their own history has been scrubbed out completely. But we need to retrain ourselves. There's still a way to get it back. There's still a way. So, what am I saying? We got to be very conscious as Africans that those religions, they ultimately prevent the development of our own communities. And we are, by nature, community people. We don't exist in a vacuum. That is our nature. That is part of who we are. We have, my ancestors, my grandfather had 5 wives. It's not by accident. That is part of who we are as Africans. So when a religion is telling you, no, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not, you shall have one wife and everything else, it doesn't correlate with my own normal way of doing things. These are all understanding who we are. Look, it's not about castigating if people want to believe in one wife, one man, woman, one wife. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying as an African, we have to understand who we are. We don't know who we are. Our task for the coming generation to live a better life is to help them know who they are. So whenever they're going to make any decision, they are making it from an informed position. We made decisions from a position where we were not informed. We were just told, do, don't question. And that has had negative impacts on our lives collectively. All of us, bar none. If you are existing right now, if you are alive right now, and you are an African, you've been impacted by what I'm telling you. You may not know it, you may not wish to acknowledge it, but I'm telling you, you've been impacted. And we have to just acknowledge that and begin to look at, okay, what steps do we take collectively? How can we simulate? Oh, my sister, hi, thank you. Yes. Let me, I don't know if you allowed you, if you want to, I don't know, you may not be able to talk, but anyway. So what I'm trying to do is here. Let us start among ourselves like this. Let us just know who we are. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family to know who you are. You have to know who you are. Because when you know who you are, when you're talking to your grandchildren, when you're talking to your sons, your daughters, you are saying it from a place that they can learn from. And then going forward, they can pass on that message. This is what we need to do. Being a Christian is not being an African. Being a Muslim is not being an African. When you are connecting with your ancestors and their spiritual ways, you are a true African. It's that simple. I'm not trying to complicate this. I'm just trying to make sure that we understand the thread of our thinking. We've been told, Islam says, oh, for you to be saved soul, you have to be a servant of Allah. Then you will welcome to the heaven. And Christianity says, for you to be a welcome to the kingdom of God, you have to give yourself to Christ. Your ancestors just say, I just need you to remember me, to honor me. You can take, this is the land I gave you. They're not asking you to give anything up. Your ancestors aren't asking you to give anything up of yourself. They are saying, embrace yourself, and then we will show you ways to even enrich yourself even more on your land. Can you see the difference between the three? Does it make any sense? That makes sense to me. I don't know about you, but it makes sense to me. Why do I have to give away something of myself for me to become equal or to be worthy in your religion? Why? Why? Explain that. Why do I have to give up something of myself, change anything of me, before I am worthy to be part of your religion, Christian or Muslim? My ancestors don't tell me that. My ancestors even help me and guide me. Oh, by the way, This happened, that. Avoid this, avoid that, do this. Okay. Embrace that, honor this. Your path will be clear. You will get. They even tell us about how the seasons fall, what to expect. These are part of who we are. Look, this is not just, we are talking spirituality here now. This is, yeah, they wanted us to lose our ancestral correction, so we stay lost. Thank you. Let me put out, Tobias. Let me put out. So, the task for us now, every African, get as many books from as many Africans that you can. African writers about Africa. Research it, read it. Even if you read it half page, leave it, come back. I'm telling you, when the next step that you need in that book comes up, you will pick that book up. That's how we are. This is, look, we need to plant seeds to remember who we are. We got to start planting those seeds. Buy as many books because we don't know who we are. We have been living our lives through the lens of those who told us lies about who we are. That's the reality. So we are not sure. Even now, we're not fully sure who we are. We are beginning to get an idea. We are beginning to make sense. If you really care about the people, you will not be taking away their artifacts, their technology, and hiding it in museums and not letting them see it. And yet you say you care for those people. How does that show care? Explain. I need to understand. You come to my land, you see the riches I have, and rebel rules. Okay, yeah, let me pin that. So we need to redefine who we are. Everything that we've been told about what it means to be African from the perspective of those who tell the history, we need to retell. Yeah, well, yeah. So we need to really understand. Like I said, the issue that I have is when you have a religion that tells me that everything about my ancestors is bad, but that same religion is holding the things that my ancestors made, and they're making money in the museum, in the church. I'm sorry. There is nothing you can say to me that will make me look at that religion but anything but hypocrisy. Nothing. Because everything you're saying is still predicated on you keeping what belongs to me, my coming generation, and my ancestors. And you expect me to take the word for word what you say that I am to be the case. I'm sorry. I can't. That's why our task, all of us as Africans, do your research. I know it's easy to get angry when you get into this because it's really hitting to the bone now. I can feel it myself. I'm saying it because this is cutting to the bone. This is like cutting to the bone. If the next thing, it will be the bone. What I'm saying to you. Because it is analyzing what you thought you were based on what they told you your people were. And now you find out different things. That your technology is hidden away in several museums and making you believe as though that you had no technological advancement. They had no greatness within your own society. Those are things that are really fundamental, and that is tied to your spirituality. This is tied to our spirituality. So, we need to, every African community right now, we need to look back at ourselves. Never overlook any of our communities in Africa. We need to view them with extreme regard, deep regard. Yes, they lie to us and they be stealing our resources. Yes, Sammy, I agree with you. Yes. So we don't need religion. We need to get back to our communities. The kingdoms of our ancestors came about because they formed strong community that looked for the future. Yes, thought the enemies. Rebel Rose. That's a very good point. Very good point. Very good point. We, I about that. Let's just say that we're starting the journey with ourselves first. But obviously, that is part of what you'll be looking at as we develop it. But we need to know and study who we are to reclaim it, because there are so many things that is coming out that we need to really make sure, make sure that we really understand. Because when we know who we are, then the enemy can come from whatever angle. We're ready. If they choose to be the enemy. And it doesn't have to be that an enemy. It doesn't have to be. The African table is very big. We are bountiful, and we will remain bountiful. They know that. Now we are welcome. We can welcome you to share with us. But what we should stop doing is preventing them from allowing us to reach our potential on our own continent. That we need to put a stop to. And the only way to put a stop to it is to get through true freedom for Africa. Africans working together, building that community. That's why I keep saying it. When you look in that church, they will make you think, oh, the church community. It's a falsehood. Yeah, but the religion is everything. Everything. A very good point. Let me pin that up. I don't think religion is the problem. I'm not saying it's the problem. But I'm saying it's preventing us from uniting. People go to the church and the mosque every Friday. But I ask a question. Okay, let me ask you a question, everything. If you're African, how many times do they meet in your community in Africa to have discussions about the lack of roads, no water, no light, no schools, no bridges in your community? Do they meet up? Do they meet up? Do they meet up and have meetings? How many times does it happen? I don't think, and I mean, we're locked into what they call economic slavery, the whole of Africa. Exactly. So we need to turn inwards. We need to, Africa, not enough. Okay, exactly. So we don't do enough. Thank you. Somebody said not enough to that question. So the first thing is we need to start looking in our community. Anytime they build an empire, they start with the community. The community starts building and fixing their problems as they go along. Then they get bigger. Then they get bigger. Then it becomes an empire. Same thing here. Our economy, our communities, we need to start building. And we need to start trusting our communities. We need to, as Africans, every African community, we must build new ones. Exactly, we build new ones. We will build new ones. But we need to start with empowering the community to know that it is okay for you to speak your language. Do not feel weak or lower than anybody speaking your language on your own land. You are king on your land. Anybody that comes to our land must speak our language. We need to begin, doing that. Anybody, if you want to, if you're telling us, oh, you are going to be our governor, you're going to be my local government chairman, what have you done to fix our community? Where's our road? Where's our water? We start teaching our kids to question those they elect into office. We need to teach this kind of skills, because the Bible and the Quran makes you believe, oh, I'm not worthy. Oh no, I'm son of God. I'm Jesus. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. So I have to be like this. I have to be, Islam. No. Yes, Allah says. So I have to be like this. So you don't get to speak up for what is your right. And that is what that religiosity takes over the whole of ourselves, and that's the problem. That is why there's no development across the whole of Africa. We need to break that down. It's about the impact of the religion on our communities and what damage it has, the lasting damage. Thank you very much, at last. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for giving me the gifts and all that. Rose, at last, and others as well. Amanda, I've said thank you. Thank you so much. I've been involved in getting the message out there because I think we need to. Oh, Rebel Rose. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. And may the Most High replenish and bless you more as well. All of us in this struggle, we need to continue this work. And even those in America, I haven't forgotten you. There are many people who come from Hawaii, who are blacks, who are from that place in America. So it happened both ways. They took some people, but some people came from there. The Hawaii, the last queen of Hawaii was a black woman. I know this for a fact. There's pictures, there's evidence of this. But again, it's about uniting. It's about uniting. It's about building ourselves as communities and becoming free from this bondage that we've been placed. And we need to free ourselves. Nobody else can do it for us. You know? Mali said it. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of it can stop other time. How long must they kill our prophet? Whilst we stand aside and look. Whoa. Some say it's just the part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing this song of freedom? Is all I ever hear. Oh yeah, redemption song. This song of freedom is all I ever hear. Oh yeah, redemption song. Rest in peace, Bob Marley. That guy is a prophet, another prophet. You see, I went from fella, our African brother prophet, to another African brother prophet. Rest in peace, Bob Marley. Great, great. I'm just playing about. I do sing, but I'm playing about now. I don't really want to go into it. I'm not too well at the minute, but the passion, I hope the message is more important than me singing. The message is more important than me singing. I'm just, that's more important to you. And I hope if you can pick anything from me, it's that message. It's the message that our unity is so much more important. And I'm hoping that when I'm joking around when I'm doing this, because a little bit. Thank you, Rebel. Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's the most important thing. And I'm trying to make sure that when we leave this broadcast, we do spend a minute to think about, okay, what am I going to do in my community now? That's our own task. My task is, I'm asking myself that every day. What would I do in my community? How can I empower them? Because now I know it's not about money. In my community, I kid you not, I just today, for example, I did some research, and in the Ogun State area alone, the government is supposed to give you, they're getting a monthly allocation in excess of 15 billion naira a month. 15 billion naira For local, the local gets 6 billion and the state gets 6 billion. And the state government gets 9 billion. Combine that, they get 15 billion. 15 billion a month. So the problem is not money. And I need to understand, we need to understand that. What is happening is that money is being siphoned by all of these puppets that's being used to cleverly take away the resources and starve the people. So the money is not the problem. It is the access of the people to those funds. Africa is not poor. Africa is not poor. It's not. You know, Africa is not at all poor. It is a rich, corruption. Yes, spirotop. So it's very, very important when we are doing all of this that we really begin to understand. Don't buy into the narrative that Africa is poor. That's number one. Never buy, if you are an African, never buy into it that Africa is poor, because they always put that out. If you look at the pictures that they're going to show you, go and look at the pictures. They will show you a picture of a child with a big stomach that's living poor, that they dilapidated property. They will show you all of that narrative that Africa is poor to make you believe it. Yes, corruption, sadly, I agree. But the real problem is corruption. And the real problem is the corruption is hidden. A lot of the African, like I said, if you heard me say, many of the areas where there are wars going on, they are resource-based. They have a lot of resources. So the Western powers will say, I'll help you. You know what? What do you want? Whatever weapon you want, I'll give you. I'll give you the weapons. I'll give you whatever weapons. Just let me take the resources. That is the biggest corruption in the entire world. You can't quantify it. Because those areas, the Western powers will go and give weapons to both sides to fight each other. And they take the resources. That is the biggest corruption going on. And it's not on paper, because what they do is they give them weapons and they take the resources. And they don't even measure it. Yes, Egosa infinity. Corruption has become the culture. And we need to break that down. And it starts within our community. If our people in our community can now understand that the church does not solve the problem, the mosque does not solve the problem to solve the problem starts within the community, coming together. Okay, there's insecurity. We need to protect ourselves. How many of us are there? Who are the people who are going to be, who are strong people who can lead in the front or work with us? Who are the people who are going to be the young people who can come and really support behind? Who are, how can we protect ourselves? So you start planning in your community, number one. Now, once you have the plan, you now call the government. Look, you got this money last month. Where's the money? We're not safe. In one state, in Lagos, for example, in Nigeria, the state government gets about, I think it's about 1 point something billion for security vote every month. So Lagos gets 14.748 billion. Is it billion? Yeah, I think it's billion naira every year, and 1 point something billion every month, just for security. So if the community starts coming together, they can start questioning this governor. Look, we are not safe in this area. What's the budget meant? Where's the budget meant for our community for security? Where is the money being spent? That is when the community comes together and begin to question those in government. We need active participation. Tobias, thank you very much. Thank you, Tobias. Thank you. So we need active participation in our governance, that holds power to account. Thank you. But that's what we mean. You see, right now, unfortunately, like in Nigeria and across the whole of Africa, when they say they have town hall meetings, I'm afraid the town hall meetings does not include the people in the community. Do you get it? It is only the government having a meeting among themselves, and they try to sell it to you that it's a community. It's not. The community do not have meetings monthly, like I've just established now. I've been doing some research. The communities must begin to have their own local community association independent of the government so that they can scrutinize the government. They can call them to question. We need to build that. They have to start giving money an account on everything they're doing. Thank you. Oh, I love that. Let me pin that. Let me pin that straight away. That is what I'm trying to get at. Edoman, thank you. May the Most High, may Eshu and Eledumare, our Eledumare, bless you. Look, and my ancestors and my forefathers and all of them, bless you, because you are speaking the truth. You said they have to start giving an account on how they are doing those money. This is what we need. We don't want to hear any grammar from anybody. And by the way, everything I'm saying now to everybody here, we need our people to be saying it in their local languages. The women, our market women, need to know. Let me quickly give you an example of what I mean. Let me give you an example. I'm going to read to you section 14.2a and 14.2c of the Nigerian Constitution in Yoruba that our market women must know so they can question your local government chairman, state assembly member, house of reps, senators, governors. Question them on the spot. Let me read it to you in Yoruba. It goes like this. 14.2a. This talks about the powers of sovereignty, but in Yoruba language. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tíjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè ìgbà gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. You can cut this section out and read it out to market women. Let me read it again. I'll read it slowly. Let me say that slowly because I know I was fast. Let me say it again slowly in Yoruba. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tí ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ń gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So now you can cut that clip out, give it to the market women in the market to hear in their language. Now they know now that what I just said, I'm going to say it in English. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Now, when they say that in their language, one thing happens. Those politicians, they get scared because now they know that they cannot trick the women anymore. And our African women, they are very smart. Once they know they're right, hey, you don't enter Amidatu. Hey, you don't enter pepper soup. That's why I'm trying to show our market women that, so you know, and you can build on this properly. You can really build on that. So there's a second part to it to really encourage them to use that power. And I'm going to say that again in Yoruba, then I'll translate it in English. So it goes like this. Ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn ní ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. One more time, I'll say it slowly. Ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn nínú ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. What does that mean? It means the participation by the people in their government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Now, please keep in mind, many Nigerians will come at me now and they say that the constitution is a fraud. I get it, it is a fraud. But those are powers nonetheless. And I'm telling you, quote me anywhere. Those powers that I just told you now, they have never, ever been used anywhere in Nigeria in 24 years. They have never, ever been explained to people in their local language like I am doing anywhere. So this is a first. So we need to start here. Again, likewise, my Edo brother, if you have it in Edo, And you can join me and share this to speak to our Edo people in Edo language so they know that power. Section 14.2 and 14.2c. And Igbo brothers, my Middle Beltans, my Fulani, even the Hausas, this has to start from within the community. So now we are giving people power from within the community to know the powers they possess and how to use those powers. Now, once we start doing that, we are building them from within. They are not going to wait for you and me to come and help them. Once they know the powers they possess, they will feed themselves knowledge. They will give themselves power. They will support each other. And that knowledge needs to spread into the entire community from the age of 4. You know why I said from the age of 4? In Nigeria, from the age of 4, you either go to a Sunday school or a mosque. Correct me, am I wrong? Anybody here, please, dispute it with me. From the age of 4, you start going to Sunday school or the mosque, the Keu house. Any Nigerian who's here, please confirm what I'm saying. Because I'm just confirming. And that is where it starts. That's why I'm saying we need to start from the age of 4. So this information I just said in Yoruba, we teach them in Yoruba from the age of 4. Now you are opening up their mindset straight away. They know they possess powers. They can hold the government to account in their own language. That's where the real power begins. And we can do this in all communities across the whole of Africa. We need to change our mindset. Those Bible and things are there to deceive you, to make you feel powerless. The Bible and the Quran, they are there to make you feel powerless. That without the Bible and the Quran, your life will amount to nothing. It is all a lie. It is all a lie. So it starts in our community. Thank you very much. It's correct. Thank you. Let me just put that up. Thank you. Thank you. I see. Yes. So we need to be doing this in our community. At this point, we shouldn't even be bothered about what the politicians are doing. When we start doing this in all communities, the politicians will start worrying about what we are doing in the community. Right now, the politicians, they know they got us where they want us. They can sleep. They will go anywhere, they will sleep, because they know they were not questioning them. But now that we start teaching our people in our local language, they have nowhere to hide. There's nowhere for them to hide. This is why I'm saying to you, our language is the key to unlock our people from poverty. Our language is the key to unlock our people from the cycle of poverty. If we can able to start teaching this in every community, and we have to take this on individually, collectively, every one of us, when you watch this, make sure that your community knows this information. You share it to them. Start opening their mind. Ask them, when last did they have a community meeting about their roads, their water, their light, their schools, their bridges? If they say not, well, we need to start. Do you know you have these powers? Now, we start waking them up. This talk about problem. How about solutions? This could be a solution. We won't know until we try. We will not know until we try. Language and math are the key to the access power of the university. Powerful. Yes. Yes. So, please, this can change potentially the entire African continent if we apply this simple logic. Our people must be communicated to about the powers they possess in their language, not the colonial language, in their language. That is what is most important in all this. So, I hope, we've been here for some time now. I hope we've been able to learn something here and really, I hope many people will find what I'm saying true here. It makes some sort of sense. That's why I keep talking about our African community. When you start talking about African community, the next step is what makes a community function. our government have to tell us what they're doing with those money. Thank you very much, Edo man. And the only way they will tell us is when we start asking them in our local language. When the day when a farmer in a village will stand up and talk to the politician, the State House of Assembly member, in this language, saying, Oga, you got this money to fix our community. Where's the money gone? Who is the contractor? What's the balance? In his language, that day, we will get better roads in all our communities. And that must be our goal. That is why I am insistent that our language, our local language, that's why you see me, I speak, my Yoruba may not be perfect, but I speak it the best I can in the clearest term that the market women, I'm targeting the market women, because our women, without our women, without our moms, and I salute them, there's no us. Without our moms, our mothers, our grandmas, there's no you, there's no me. They carry us for 9 months. So when they get this information, we are helping them make their lives easier. We are literally helping them make their lives easier. Because now, do you know in families right now, husband and wife are fighting over money because of the oppression of the government. That's what's happening. So imagine if we begin to give this information to them in their local language. And please don't misunderstand me. It's not just about information. We need to, when we start empowering, I'm hoping we can find a kind of a way to meet them on the road in terms of, okay, we are giving you this information, we're going to help you do that, get to start speaking together, and maybe give them the confidence to be able to feed themselves in their community. I spoke to somebody today, and they said to me that they have started planting in their own backyard. They are planting corns, yam, okra, you know, this because of just simple communication and the fact that the food is expensive as of now. If there's a group of you doing that, you could feed your community yourselves without going to the shops. But it all is about community. And a community will have what? A language. That language begins to empower the community to get what it needs when they work together. That's what we are looking for. It's not about big ideas. Oh, it's about communicating in the language that the people in that community understand to get what belongs to them. It belongs to the people. The money meant for the roads must be spent on the roads. The money meant for schools must be spent on the schools. And because the people begin to monitor those money, the politicians will not be able to steal. So the people start monitoring the government, and that is our role. That is the thing I want to come to. But I cannot say you have to monitor without talking about knowing your powers and how to use those powers. Because when you start using the powers, you are monitoring. You are monitoring what they're doing. Thank you so much, Rebel Rose. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I hope you find this beneficial. You're monitoring them and helping them reach, you know, to solve the problem. You see, one of the things, I've fallen into this trap, you know. Yes, please, let them hear it. Please do, Edo man, yes. That's the idea behind this. You know, a tree cannot make a forest. Forget it. That is an old African saying. A tree cannot make a forest. You can't. We need every single part, this single shrub that is going to grow. Will grow on this side, will grow on that, and then suddenly the forest will come from nowhere. It's because of the work we are doing like this among ourselves, sharing information, solutions. When you are talking about problems, you are giving the people who are oppressing us the power to oppress. When we are talking about solutions and coming up with ideas that we can practically do in our communities, we are taking power away from them. Let us talk more about solutions like this. Some more, I'm not the only one, no, please. If you have other ideas, share it. If you are doing a live broadcast and I come on board, I will listen intently and I will share. Please, because it is not one person. No. Don't think Citizen AY is the one that holds on to all this. All of us, we have innate talents. Every single one of us watching this broadcast, we have innate talents that is of use in every single community. I firmly believe that. That is my stance. And I start and I go along in that manner. Because right now, the sense of, when I talk to people back home, they say, the government is going to overpower us. And I say, look, have you tried? Oh, we're not going to try. And they're just going to come and give this one money, and that one will take money. And I keep saying, if you take money, that means that you will continue on that same bad road, no hospital, for years to come. You need to educate your community why corruption is bad for your community by talking about the lack of roads, by the fact that when they give you that money is meant for your roads, and that is stealing. So education is so important, my people. We need to inculcate this in everything we're doing. And if necessary, we may have to be repeating this. It may sound like a broken record at some point, but the point is, it is reaching other people. It is reaching a lot of other people. We are freeing our people, and we are empowering them at the same time to take collective action within the community. I envisage a point that when we start doing this, people, when they see a problem in their community now, they will not say, oh God, Egba, please, governor, come and help us. They will sit there and say, okay, we know the government is being paid money. They will start asking questions. Okay, where's that money gone? They will start sitting there, and they will not take no for an answer. We need communities where they will no longer take no from the government and an answer. They will say, no, we are the ones paying your wages. You need to answer us. And they will quote the sections of the Constitution I just read and say, sit down, answer that question. We need that money. We are suffering here. This has gone on long enough. We've been programmed through religion to be very subservient. The religions of Islam and Christianity has programmed our people to be subservient and to accept the injustice being placed on their necks by their governance. We need to change that mindset. So this is why programs like this is important. I hope you find it useful. Before we even talk about Yoruba Nation, Biafra Nation, I believe this is where we need to start. Because when the people know the powers they possess, they can move themselves, and they themselves will force the government to put a referendum inside the Constitution. That's how powerful what I'm telling you is. And they will do it in their language. They will do it in their own language. They don't need English. They don't need English. They don't need French. They will do this in their own language. That's powerful. That is the real power of what we're saying here. But we have to trust our people. And that's why I'm saying every community now, we need to look at our African communities with a new, fresh pair of eyes. Don't look down on them, because we've been conditioned. We are here, I'm telling you. We've been conditioned to see our communities as incapable. Wrong. They are very capable, but they've been given the wrong tools. Now we are trying to give them the right tools. We are giving them the right tools to fix their own problems. Because many people will say, oh, it's the government. No. The government will start worrying. When they start doing this, the government will start worrying about what the people are doing in the communities, that they have no other choice than to fix it as they demanded. The community now uses its community power as a sovereign to fix its own problems. Charity culture, dependency culture is what charity is all about. And it disempowers our community. Go and look at all our community today. They are disempowered. They're always they're always looking for money. They're always begging. They always come and do this. This. We need to put a stop to that. Our language is where it starts. I'm speaking in Yoruba now. Sorry, beg your pardon. That's my passion coming out because I am a Yoruba. I'm a proud Yoruba man, but I'm also a Yoruba man with culture, with good behavior, omoluabi, good character. I need to see a great Yoruba nation burst forth based on the ethos of our ancestors. Speaks of good character, good nature, good name, never ever lying to somebody, believing in the spirituality that we were born with. Truth at all times. That's part of our ethos as Yoruba people. We need to reclaim them back. That land has been vacated. We've been forced to vacate it by these religions. We must take it back as Yoruba people. So that's me passionately saying that. I firmly believe that, and I know that's where we're coming from. And many of us who are Yorubas, and please, not only Yorubas, by the way, many African cultures have this same ethos. Many. But we interpret it in their own language. And that's what I'm really getting at. So I hope many of you take on board what I've said, what's been said here today. I hope we both all learned something. And I've tried to, you see that every time I see a comment that makes a lot of sense, I pin it. Because I believe that in sharing information and knowledge is the best way for us to fix Africa. And the quicker we can share that information to reach as many of us to fix our own communities, the better we can get to that Africa that we all really pray and wish for and envisage in our mind. Not just praying, but are willing to take steps such as we are taking right now to enlighten our people, to raise the awareness in our communities, to change our mindset, to wake up from this deep sleep that these religions of Islam and Christianity has placed us on the African continent. Yes, Arabs can practice Islam, have no problem. Christians can do that in Europe, but on the African continent, it is a detriment to our development, and that is a fact that is indisputable. Just look at the last 50 years on the African continent, and that will give you the answer to give you proof of what I'm saying. So I guess I'm going to wrap it up here. It's been a minute. I was going to do just an hour or so, but it looks like this has gone way, way, way over. I want to thank every single person that's joined me now. I'm going to try and do myself justice. I don't know if I can. I'm not saying I have not been feeling great of late health-wise, but sometimes when something comes up like this in terms of passing on very important information like this, you often have to push yourself a little bit and do that for, to help the community, African community as a whole. And we have to see ourselves as a community. In the entire world, we are a community and we need to link up and help ourselves. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Malima, thank you. I appreciate that. There is a lot more work for us to do, and there's a lot more to be said. But I want to thank everybody who came and who joined this broadcast and who shared it. I do hope you've learned something or you've been able to grasp, if not from me, from other comments that you've seen on the broadcast, you may be able to learn something and interact and grow. Please do follow the broadcast, follow this platform, help us grow it. There's more information that we'll be sharing. We're going to come and talk some more about the Alliance of Sahel and the need for us to support that. We're going to come and talk about the Africa Zoom 54, a project that we've got going at the minute, where we are encouraging Africans across the whole African continent to just come up and meet up and just chat, just to get to know each other. And also, we want to talk about the issue of getting Africans to meet up and travel across the whole of Africa without any restrictions. A borderless Africa in terms of traveling across the countries. Africans are the most restricted people on the African continent about traveling in their own continent. Others, Europeans can travel across the whole of Africa, but Africans within Africa, you cannot travel from one country to the next. There's restrictions across the whole of Africa. It's ridiculous. It just doesn't make any sense. It is, and that harms our trade. Right there, you've halted our trade, because the trade that would happen between one country and the next will now have to go to either France or to UK first before coming over, because you have to come and fly to those places first before then going to Africa. I mean, it's. Do you see my? You see my exasperation. You see, I'm exasperated. You know. Yeah, why we keep upholding their systems up. Oh, Malimal. Makimal, I mean, is it yeah? Yeah, Malimal. I've pinned that comment. I had to pin that comment. I just had to pin that comment. You hit the nail on the head. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you all very much. Let me do justice a little bit, because I was... Now, I'm going to try and sing that song again, because I know I butchered it when I sang it before. And so I already did that, but I'll just sing a few lines. But like I said, it is really important. I want to leave on a positive note about our unity. We need to bring our community together, and the words in the song of Bob Marley is very important. So let me just... sing a few lines. Oh, God. Oh, God. Damn. God damn. Hang on. I forgot it, yeah. Shiva. Uli Padawa. Uli Padawa. Uli Padawa. I forgot. Totally forgot. Okay, sorry about that. Those of you on YouTube, I lost my visuals on TikTok, so I was trying to fix that. So I lost that. TikTok, I'm going to try and see if I can come back. Those of you who are on YouTube, thank you very much. You've been watching, if you've been following us. I hope you've shared it. We've talked a lot. I mean, I spoke to a lot of people on TikTok. So that's why you see me. If I've been focused on there, I do apologize. I haven't forgotten you. I do try and look in now and then. But we do need to grow the platform on YouTube, of course. Your support is always welcome. And please subscribe, help us grow the platform. We do need that support. Okay, I think it might be back. But I'm just going to check quickly before we wrap up, because I wanted to sing the song. I know I butchered the song, because I was just playing about, I was trying not to push some notes, because I'm not there yet. But nonetheless, many of you know I love singing, and it's a very important part of who I am. But like I'm going to try and let me reconnect there, and then we can then end it properly. Okay. I hope I've got it. I hope it comes back. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Okay. That's ended there. I guess it just had to go. Okay. Creator tools. Let's have a look at this. Okay. No, let me look at that. 1 second, please. Beg your pardon. Live recordings. Not that one. Oh, don't tell me I lost it. Live events. Please don't tell me I lost that. I would be most upset if I did. Oh no, I can't believe it. No, that's not right. Let's go back again. Let me go and see if I can join it. Oh man, yeah, resume. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So sorry about that. Let me just quickly, before we go, sorry, I lost my battery. It went down, and that's why you couldn't see me. Quick one. Let me just quickly check. I'm doing this on the fly, sort of. So beg your pardon if it looks a little bit iffy. Trying to get everything back if I can. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. Most important is the message. What is most important is the message, and I hope you got that message. Please do share. I really do appreciate many of you who have supported and are sharing the broadcast as I speak. Let me just check something quickly one more time. Lighting, flick, no, not settings. Okay. 1 minute. I'm going to try. I need to try and get it right if I can. No. Okay. No. Okay. It doesn't matter. I'll just have to leave it this way. I'm trying to get the background back, and it's taking me some time. Yeah. You'll have to bear with me. I'm trying to make sure I can get it all back. I can, as much as I can. But no, okay, listen. Before I go, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. Please take away from this. Our takeaway from this is this. Our community, we need to build stronger communities, and we have to care a little bit more for each other, and we must free ourselves as Africans. There's a lot of work for us to do, and I firmly believe that. And in the words of Bob Marley, briefly, my voice is not very good at the minute because I still have a bit of I've had a hanging bad cold and stuff for weeks, so I just tried it out on the fly. So again. So it goes like that. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of it can stop other time. How long must they kill our prophets? Our wives we stand aside and look, oh. Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. I want you help to sing. This song of freedom is all I ever hear. Oh yeah, redemption song. Redemption song. This song of freedom is all I ever hear. Oh yeah, redemption song. Redemption song. Just a little rendition. Yeah, I hope you like that. I hope it's okay. That my voice is still I've still got this cold, but I try to sort of do justice to it because I really, Bob Marley is someone I don't play with because of not just the music, but the words in the music. You know, when it says something about get up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. And then he talks about preacher man, don't preach me nonsense. Like heaven is on that day, you know. So and then when he starts, I'm getting the vibe of it now. And you could, you could see, you could see where he's going with the song. And the guy was so powerful. May his soul rest in peace. This guy's really got those in power by thinking, he's trying to wake them up. We got to do something about this. So, but anyway, listen, I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much. Peace, love, and light to everybody watching. I appreciate you. And I will be back later on. Thank you for watching. Please do share this broadcast. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. What we aim to do is to enlighten our people and raise the level of awareness within our community. Please do share this broadcast. Thank you so very much. I'm going to have to sign off now. I do apologize for the break in the transmission earlier on, but thank you for watching, and I'll be back later. Thank you, and bye. Thank you all. And thanks for the gifts, and I appreciate you. Please do share the broadcast. Don't forget to follow, and I'll endeavor to follow as many as possible, and leave comments, and I'll try and play this back as well. Thank you very much. Bye for now. Bye. Bye. Okay. Good. So that's done on there. I think I'm going to wrap up now. I think it's a very late one. I wasn't going to do this. This wasn't the plan at all. But sometimes things do happen. And I do say I was going to finish later. But nonetheless, I hope you found it pleasurable. I hope you found it. So that's done. So thank you so much. I think I'm going to wrap up now. I think it's a very late one. I wasn't going to do this. This wasn't the plan at all. But sometimes things do happen, and I do. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let me just do this quickly. I hope you found it pleasurable. Yeah, sorry. So it's echoing back. I was just checking it as I was doing this. So thank you so much, my brothers and sisters. Waris did not do my brother as ever. Thank you. What we are trying to do is enlighten our people. And honestly, we got to do a lot of more work. And those of you who will watch this later, please do share. Waris did not do as ever. Thank you so much, my brother, and thank you for holding the fort on the platform. I appreciate you for your comments, and I do pin it and I do look. But there is a lot more for us all to say. What is left for me to do now to say thank you very much. I appreciate each and everybody that's watched this and that will be watching it later on. I'm signing off now. I'll be back later on, maybe tomorrow or something. But in the meantime, thank you so very much. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to the power. Don't forget, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification button. Give us thumbs up. Help us reach more people. And we value your support. You are a document. This is making it absolutely. Thank you. So please keep sharing and sending love and light to you all. Waris do not do thank you. Dizzy Man 123 thank you. And I'll be back later on. For now, bye.